Chapter 6, Lesson 2, Adding and Subtracting Rational Expressions. So in order to add or subtract these rational expressions, we need to make sure they have a common denominator. So in the past, when we've tried to do 1/2 plus 3/4, we cannot do that until the denominators are the same. So we would multiply this one by 2 on top and bottom, which would now make it 2/4 plus 3/4, which is 5/4. So the first thing we're going to talk about is finding that least common denominator like we did here, making the fractions have the same denominator. So in this one for part A, if I'm looking for trying to make a common denominator between these two fractions, 3 and 5, the least common denominator they would multiply into would be 15. X to the 5th and x to the 1st, I'd need to make them both x to the 5th. And y to the 1st, y to the 3rd, they would both need to be y to the 3rd. So that would be my least common denominator for these two fractions. On C, we get into our actual binomials. So what I'm going to want to do first is factor all of these. X plus 5, x minus 5. This one factors of 5 that add up to 10 are 5 and 5. Sign chart says both minus. And the middle one's going to call for a window method. 2x squared minus 5, 10. 10x and 1x. Sign chart says bigger one gets a negative. 2x plus 1 and x minus 5. Now, notice that for sure all of these already have 1x minus 5 in common. Then, to make them all be the same, I would have to add another x minus 5 to both of these, so that now they all have 2 x minus 5s. And then I have to add an x plus 5 to these, so that all three of them now have an x plus 5. And finally, I would have to give this one a 2x plus 1 and this one a 2x plus 1, so that all three of them would have the same denominator. On B, these are not quite the same, but if I give this one a z plus 1 and give this one a z minus 1, now they would be the same. So their common denominator would be z plus 1, z minus 1. On this one, I'll factor out the negative 3, which would leave me with x minus 2. Factoring this one would be x plus 2, x minus 2. So they both have an x minus 2. Then I would have to give this one a negative 3 to be able to cross that out. And I have to give this one an x plus 2. So their common denominator would be negative 3, x minus 2, x plus 2. All right, so now what we're going to do is apply that to our actual factoring here. So this denominator is x plus 1 and x minus 1. So I'll give this an x minus 1, so they're almost the same. Whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. And I'll give this one an x plus 1. It's not going to fit there. I'll put it down here. So that now they have this common denominator of x plus 1, x minus 1. Now, as far as the top goes, I'm going to need to distribute here and then combine all of my like terms, so that might take a little bit. So I'd have 2x squared plus 2x minus 6x minus 6 plus 2x squared minus 2x. Then combining like terms would give me 4x squared, 2 minus 6 minus 2 is negative 6x minus 6 over x plus 1, x minus 1. Then I factor the top here, take out a 2, which leaves me with 2x squared minus 3x minus 3. And I don't believe that reduces down anymore. Factors of 3 that subtract to be 3, there's none. So that would be the factored form. That would be done. Okay, on the next one, I'm going to have to window method both of these denominators. 2x squared minus 5, which is 10. Factors of 10 that subtract to be 9, 10 and 1. Minus plus 2x plus 1. X minus 5. This one, 6x squared minus 2. Factors of 12 that subtract to be 1 are 4 and 3. Sign chart says minus plus. 3x minus 2. And 2x plus 1. So their common denominator is going to be 2x plus 1. Then I'm going to give this one an x minus 5. And give this one a 3x minus 2. All right. Then I'm going to FOIL both of these tops. 6x squared minus 4x minus 3x plus 2 plus x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15. Oh, shoot. I just want to get rid of these. I want to get rid of all that. Need more room. Okay, combining like terms would give me 7x squared, negative 4, negative 3, negative 5, positive 3 is negative 9, and 2 and negative 15 is negative 13. 2x plus 1, x minus 5, 3x minus 2. And the last one's a little bit easier. So this one has x squared and this one has x to the third. So I need to give this one another x so that they both have x to the third. This one has a 3 and this one doesn't, so I'm going to give it a 3. And they both have y. So this would become 6x plus 5. Now in subtracting, it's basically the same process, but we just have to make sure that when I am distributing this 2, I remember that it is a negative 2. So this would factor into x plus 2, x minus 2. And this one would factor into x plus 2, x minus 1. So they both have the x plus 2. I need to give this one an x minus 1. And I need to give this one an x minus 2. Then distribute 5x squared minus 5x, negative 2x plus 4, 5x squared minus 7x plus 4, over x plus 2, x minus 1, x minus 2. And just a quick looking at the top tells me that this would not factor because I'd be looking for factors of 20 that add up to 7, and there's none. So that would be my final answer. On this one, it's nice. They already have the same common denominator, so I just have to remember that this negative applies to the x and to the 5. So my answer would be negative x plus 3. 8 and negative 5 make 3. On this last one, I know that this would factor into x plus 1, x minus 1. So I'm going to give this one an x minus 1 and give this one an x plus 1. So this would become 7x plus 7 plus 10x. Remember, this is a negative 5. So this become negative 5x plus 5. 7 and 10 is 17, minus 5 is 12. And 7 and 5 is also 12. This one, the top would factor out. Take out a 12. So those would cancel, and my final answer would be 12 over x minus 1.